Hello friends, welcome back to our channel NEET Biology Expert. I'm Dr. Parveen. In this lecture series, we are studying class 12 biology chapter human reproduction. In this particular lesson, we are going to study in detail about fertilization. Right? Let's get started. What is fertilization? What is the definition for the word fertilization? Fertilization means the union of male and female gametes. Not only that, the fusion of the pronuclei of sperm and the egg. So this is called fertilization. Okay, see here, this is an egg cell and here a sperm cell is there. So both the egg and the sperm should unite together. Okay, not only union of these two cells, their nucleus also should get fused. Okay, so like this, the fusion of the both egg and the sperm nuclei should occur. So as a result, diploid zygote will be formed. So here the male gamete will be haploid and the female gamete is also haploid, whereas the zygote is diploid to a number of the chromosomes. So this process is called as fertilization. This fertilization has several steps and several processes involved. So let us learn few terminology which is very important for the exam point of view. Okay, so you should know meaning for these words. That is syngamy. What is syngamy? The union of male and female gamete is called syngamy. That means the egg cell and the sperm, when they join together, this is called syngamy. You know synchronization. Synchronization means coming together in one symphony like this together. Okay. So here syngamy means union of the male and female gamete. The next word is plasmogamy. Here, intermixing of their cytoplasm. So look here, cytoplasm. The word plasm is here. So plasmogamy. So look here, all these words ends with gamy. So why gamy? Because it's talking about gamete cell, right? Male and female gamete cell. That's why it's called gamy. So plasmogamy means intermixing of the male sperm and the female egg cytoplasm. Clear? The third one is karyogamy. Karyon. What is karyon? Karyon means nucleus. Nucleus. Right? So you know the word prokaryotes, eukaryotes, karyon. Karyon means nucleus. So in karyogamy, what happens? The fusion of the sperm and the egg pronuclei. These two nuclei fuses together. So here you see the word pronuclei. The other term for the pronuclei is haploid nuclei. Okay. So we know these gametes nucleus are haploid in nature. So the other term for the haploid nucleus is pronucleus. Right? And the fourth one, amphimixes. Amphi means two. We say amphibians, right? So similarly here, amphimixes. Amphi means two is mixing together. So what two is mixing together? The intermixing of the gamete and the egg chromosome. Okay, that is called amphimixing. Okay, so these are some processes which are involved in this fertilization, and these are the terminology we use for this fertilization, right? So when we talk about fertilization, it is a very interesting phenomena in the human reproduction. This we call as the great sperm race. You know, this is like a race. Okay, this is like a marathon race. So here one egg cell is there. In order to fertilize this egg cell, millions of sperms are participating in this marathon. So whichever sperm is coming first, that will undergo the fertilization and it will succeed in this race. Okay, so this is what we call as great sperm race. Okay, so look at this picture here like this. After sexual intercourse, millions of sperms are, they started the race. They will move, run and they keep on running. Okay, so at the end only few sperms will have the energy to reach till the egg where the egg is lying. Okay, and finally only one sperm will be achieved or win the race, and that sperm will result in the formation of the zygote. A successful implantation will happen, right? After a very long continuous run, only one sperm will achieve or will win the race. So that sperm will end in a successful fertilization and it will produce a zygote. Okay. So this is called as the great sperm race. Here, see here, after millions of the sperms migrate towards the egg, only one sperm is successful in doing the fertilization process. Okay. So this is what we are going to study in this lesson, that is fertilization, how it occurs and how the sperm reaches and how this race will be going. Okay, fine. See, here in this sperm race, okay, the sperm starts its race, that is the starting point is here, that is in the vagina. Okay, so from the vagina the sperm moves and it goes here. This region is called isthmus ampullary junction. Okay, isthmus ampullary junction. So in this junction only the egg cell will be waiting for the sperm. So once the sperm meets the egg, here the fertilization occurs. Okay, right? So this is called the fertilization basic steps. Okay, fine. Let us see this thing. The fertilization is internal, that means it occurs in the female uterus, and particularly where it occurs in the ampulla. So exactly it occurs in a junction called ampullary isthmic junction. Okay, so where this junction is present, see here ovary is there, the ovary is releasing one egg. Okay, this egg weight after ovulation it gets deposit in the ampulla region. Okay, and from the ampulla region the egg moves slowly by some ciliatory movements. Some hair like projections are present in the ampulla which helps for the slow movement of this egg. Okay, it moves from the ampulla and wait here, that means this isthmus ampullary junction for the sperm. Okay. Similarly, the sperm it's getting released here and it travels through the uterus and it comes through the isthmus and meet this egg here. So this junction is called isthmus ampullary junction where the fertilization occurs. This is present in the fallopian tube. Okay, fine. After fertilization, the zygote, the diploid number of cells, zygote, they develop and they travel in this route and they go and get implanted here in the uterus interior wall, that means in the endometrium. Right? So this is the basic thing happening in the fertilization. Okay, so when we see this mind map we can understand better. Look here, the sperm whichever gets ejaculated from the penis, it travels through the vagina, then to the cervical canal, uterus, and reach the isthmus, and then go near the ampullary isthmic junction, like this route. Okay, and similarly the other side, the egg from ovary it gets released and it travels through the fimbriae, infundibulum and ampulla, and it also comes in the ampular isthmic junction, so where the egg and the sperm meets together and fertilization occurs. Okay, so this is what we are going to study in detail. So here this process of fertilization has several sequential steps, so around 8 steps. So this occurs one by one. So the first one is called insemination, followed by capacitation and movement of the sperm towards the egg, entry of the sperm into the egg, then acrosomal reaction, activation of the egg, cortical reaction, and fusion of the egg with the sperm. So these are the 8 major processes which is involved in the fertilization, which we are going to study in detail. Fine, right. So the first one is insemination. What is insemination? After sexual intercourse, that means after copulation or coitus, the semen is released by the penis into the vagina. This deposition of the semen in the vagina is called insemination, right? So look at this picture. Here, this is penis, right? This region is the vagina. So after sexual intercourse, what happens? The penis is releasing the semen. So what is semen? Semen is the fluid which contains sperms and also some other supporting substances, okay, for the movement of the sperm, for the nutrition of the sperm. Like this, many substances are present in the semen. So this deposition of the semen in the vagina, this process is called insemination. This happens after the sexual intercourse. Okay? So this is the first step. Second step, this we call as capacitation. So what is capacitation? See, the semen, when it gets released after the sexual intercourse, it will be like a jelly. Okay, it will be like a thick substance. Okay, here it will be some thick substance. So once it released in the vagina, immediately it undergoes liquefaction. Means the thickness of the sperm, the thickness of the semen now gets diluted. Okay, liquefaction, and the cells become active. So what cells are present in the semen? Sperm cells, right? So those cells get activated. So that process is called capacitation. So how exactly it occurs? Let us learn that. What is capacitation? The sperm deposited in the female reproductive tract, that means in the vagina, they undergo certain biochemical events. They undergo certain biochemical changes. So that helps the sperm to penetrate and to fertilize the egg. See here. Now once they get ejaculated in the vagina, now first it gets diluted, that is liquefaction. Second, some biochemical reaction occurs. So during this process, what happens? The sperm develops its ability to move faster, and also it gains some characteristics to penetrate the egg. Okay, so those things are called as capacitation. That means it improves itself. Okay, so here two major things happens in this capacitation. The first one, destabilization of the acrosomal sperm head membrane, which allows it to penetrate the outer layer of the egg. Okay, on the head there is some layer that is called acrosomal covering. So those acrosomal covering get detached. Okay, that is the first step. And second one, there is some changes, chemical changes happening in its tail, so that the sperm reaches a greater motility, so that it could move faster. So those things happens during capacitation. Okay, so let us see exactly what is the thing. So here you could see this yellow color thing. These are some cholesterol or sterol molecules. These are the sterols or cholesterol molecules present on the head of the sperm. That means above the acrosomal region. Okay. So what happens when the sperm gets deposited in the vagina, and the vagina or the uterus, they produces some substances called sterol binding albumin, lipoprotein or proteolytic enzymes or glycosidase enzymes. So these substances helps to remove the outer covering of the acrosome. So what happens here, this yellow color cholesterol and this albumin protein, they get detached from the covering. Okay, and now there is some minor pores or openings through which the calcium and bicarbonate ions could enter into the sperm, and this is needed for the sperm to penetrate the egg. Okay, so this process is what called as capacitation. So this process takes around 1 to 4 hours in the female uterus, in the reproductive system. After this process only, it gains the maximum capacity to move faster or to penetrate the egg. Okay, so what exactly happens? There are some receptors on the acrosome head. Those receptors are exposed. Now the sperm is very much active, and it starts to show its whiplash movement, so that they are ready to penetrate the egg. Okay, so look at this picture here. This green color is the acrosome. There is an outer covering called acrosomal membrane. So that membrane is now getting released. Okay, so that something is present, that is called acrosomal content. These are present beneath the membrane. Now those contents are exposed out. So these contents are essential for the sperm to penetrate the egg now. Okay, clear? Right. The third step is the movement of the sperm towards the egg. Now, at the point where the sperm was ejaculated, that point it gets capacitation, and now it is ready for the raise. They will move towards the egg. That is the next step. Okay. So as a result of capacitation, now the sperm is extra active. They move very fast now. So they start its movement upwards. That means from the vagina to the uterus and fallopian tube, like this. It reaches till the ampulla, where the region it meets the egg. Okay. So this movement of the sperm is activated by prostaglandin. So what is prostaglandin? Prostaglandin are the substances which is present in the semen. Okay. So when the semen is getting released, those substance also deposited in the vaginal area. So it activates the sperm to start its race, to start its movement. Okay. Also, some secretions, vestibular secretions of the female genital tract also supports the sperm motility. So as a result of this, the sperm swims at a speed of 1.5 to 3 millimeter per minute. So you could see here there is a range. That means some sperm could move at a speed of 1 millimeter, some at a speed of 1.4, some at a speed of 2, 2.4, like this. So it differs with each sperm. So whichever sperm takes the highest speed, it will reach the egg first and carry out the fertilization. Okay. So totally on an average, the speed or motility of the sperm will be 1.5 to 3 millimeter per minute. Okay. See, look at this beautiful video. This is an actual video of the sperm moving. See here. So this is the region where it is getting inseminated. Okay, that means in the vagina of the female. Okay, so from this region, you know that during one sexual intercourse, around 300 to 400 maximum million sperms are ejaculated during one sexual intercourse. Okay, so those million sperms will start its race. They start moving towards the ampulla to reach the egg. Their only aim is to find and does fertilization. Okay, find the egg and does fertilization. And in this race, what happened? At its starting point itself, almost 50% of the sperm, they get demotilized. That means they lose its motility. They could not able to move faster. Look at this picture. Look here. This sperm. This is not moving at all. Only the tail is whipping, right? And some sperm could not able to move from its originated place itself. Some sperm, the head will be broken. Like this, there will be many difficulties or deformities will be there. Okay, so only whichever sperm is very much active, they will keep on moving upward, forward direction. Baki all sperms, they settle here, and in 48 hours they die. Understand? So that's why in order to achieve only one egg, millions of sperms are being ejaculated. So out of those millions, only few hundred sperms finally reach the egg, and out of those 100 sperms, only one will achieve in the successful fertilization. Okay, right. So like this, the motile sperm swim rapidly. Whichever sperm is very much active, they will run very fast. They want to win the race. Okay, so it swims very fastly and it passes through the cervix. They enter the uterus and finally reach the ampullary region of the fallopian tube where the egg is present. Okay, so here how the sperm is moving? First they move by its own swimming, because the sperm has tail, so it swims by its own movement. Okay, and second one, the contraction of the uterus and the fallopian tubes, it helps the movement of the sperm. See, the female uterus and the fallopian tube, these regions are made up of muscles, right? So they contract slowly. This contraction is because of the hormone oxytocin, female hormone. Okay, so this hormone does this contraction. As a result of this slow vibration movement, the sperm moves ahead. So from here and it goes and reaches the point where the egg is present. Okay, and in this junction, The sperm waits for the egg for up to 24 to 48 hours. Around 2 days it waits for the egg. If the egg is present, it does the fertilization. If the egg is not present, it gets regenerated. Okay. So here you see here the sperm moves in both the direction because it wants to achieve both the regions where the ovum must be present. Okay, so it goes both the direction. Okay, but we know that in a female, egg is produced every month by the alternate ovaries. Okay, so here for example the egg is produced in this right side only. Okay, so whichever sperm enters the left side region, they will not at all meet the egg. So in 48 hours they gets degenerated. Okay, so whichever sperm goes in the right side direction, they may meet the egg and it tries for the fertilization. Understand? Okay. And similarly, simultaneously, the ovum is also released by the ovary and it is transported to the ampullary region. So look here, the egg is produced. Okay, this egg is produced and it is released out in the ampulla, and it also has to travel and reach the isthmus ampullary junction. So you must understand that in order to successfully fertilization happen, both the ovum and the sperm should move or migrate and meet at a common point. This is the isthmus ampullary junction. Isthmus ampullary junction. Okay. Suppose only the sperm is moving. The egg is not moving from the ampulla region to the ampullary junction, means that time the fertilization will not occur. Okay, so for the successful fertilization, both the sperm and the egg should move and meet in that particular junction. Okay, so that is the reason why not all sexual intercourse leads to fertilization and pregnancy. So even after ovulation, the egg is there and the sperm is also present after the sexual intercourse. If the egg does not move to the ampullary junction, the fertilization will not be successful and she won't get pregnant. Okay, so that is important. Similarly, if the ovum does not meet the sperm, after 24 hours it gets degenerated. Okay, fine. Then the fourth step is the entry of the sperm into the egg. Now at the ampullary junction, isthmus ampullary junction, both the sperm and the eggs, they meet each other. Now what should happen? The sperm should enter into the egg, right? So that is what going to happen. So out of the 200 to 300 million sperms, that means in 2 to 4 ml semen which is ejaculated during one sexual intercourse, in that 2 to 4 ml semen, almost 200 to 300 million sperms are present. So out of those sperms which started its race in the vaginal region, only a few hundred sperms successfully reach the ampullary junction. Okay, so once they meet the egg, the sperm reach the egg and they lie against it. So look at this picture. This is an actual scanning electron microscopic picture of the egg. So this huge thing is the egg and over which the sperms are lying. Now each and every sperm now wants to penetrate. So whichever sperm penetrate first, that will does its successful fertilization. Okay? Right. The next step is called acrosomal reaction. Acrosomal reaction is a very important step. So what is acrosomal reaction? Now we know that few sperms entered and they meet the egg. Okay. So in order to penetrate the egg, you know that the egg has three coverings. The outermost covering is called corona radiata. So what is corona radiata? This is corona radiata. Okay, corona radiata is a group of the cells. They are the follicular cells which are arranged together and they are attached together by an acid called hyaluronic acid. Okay, these corona radiata are the follicular cells which are attached together by hyaluronic acid. Now, in order to enter inside the egg, the sperm should first penetrate the first covering, first layer. Okay, so that is the corona radiata layer. So how? Here the corona radiata is made up of or attached together by acid hyaluronic acid. So in order to penetrate that, the sperm acrosome produces an enzyme called hyaluronidase. Okay, so look here, ASC means enzyme. Any enzyme ends with the suffix ASC. So hyaluronidase is the enzyme which penetrates the or digests the hyaluronic acid, so that the corona radiata, that layer becomes loosened. The cells become loosened. It dissolves the cells, and easily the sperm could enter the first layer penetration. Okay. So not only hyaluronidase, it also produces another enzyme called corona penetrating enzymes. So these two enzymes, they separate and dissolve the cells of the corona radiata, so that the sperm head passes through the first layer. Okay, so this reaction is called as acrosomal reaction. So acrosomal reaction is the first step in the penetration of the egg, right? Fine. The second step is the activation of the egg. So what is activation? Once the sperm penetrates the corona radiata, the second layer beneath the corona radiata is the zona pellucida. We know that zona pellucida is a very thick jelly-like covering. It is acellular glycoproteinaceous layer. So next, the sperm has to break this layer. So in order to break this layer, the sperm produces an enzyme called acrosine or corona lysine. So this corona lysine, the zona lysine enzyme penetrates or breaks the rupture the zona pellucida covering. Okay. So they act on the zona pellucida at the point of the contact, and this reaction is called egg reaction. Understand? The first reaction is called acrosomal reaction, where the sperm produces hyaluronidase enzyme and breaks the corona radiata covering. The second reaction is called the egg reaction, where the sperm produces zona lysine enzyme. Actually, sperm means the acrosome part. Okay. It produces the zona lysine enzyme and it breaks the second covering, that is zona pellucida layer. Okay, right. So here, the next step, what happens? As soon as the sperm breaks the zona pellucida layer, the egg gets activated. Okay, so the egg comes to know that sperm is entering. So there is some changes occurs inside the egg. What happens here? A small fertilization cone is formed on the egg membrane. So in this layer, see here, this one is the fertilization cone. Okay, like this. If the egg is round like this, at one point where the sperm is entering like this is called fertilization cone. So through this cone only the sperm will penetrate inside. Okay, so what happens here? Both the plasma membrane of the sperm and the egg get dissolved at this point, where in the point where the head enters, okay, that area is called fertilization cone. At that fertilization cone, the plasma membrane of both the egg and the sperm, they get dissolved, they mix together, so that the sperm enters inside, they penetrate inside. Fine. So this is what given in this picture. If we understand this picture in detail, we could easily understand this process. Okay. So look at this picture carefully. All the steps are given beautifully. Okay. What is the first step? The first step is the sperm migrates through the coat of the follicle. That means the sperm, okay, in the first step, the sperm breaks the granulosa cells, okay, and it enters. That is the first step. The second step is it is now breaking the zona pellucida layer. You could see here this purple color, they are producing the enzyme which breaks the blue color zona pellucida layer, right? And the third step is they produces further enzymes which helps for the entry of the sperm head inside. Now the fourth step here is the nucleus of the sperm now gets entered. Now here what happens? The next one is called cortical reaction, corticular reaction. See, here there is a layer, this yellow color layer, you could see this is called vitelline membrane. This layer is called vitelline membrane. What is vitelline membrane? Vitelline membrane is a space. a hollow space which is present in between the cytoplasm and the zona pellucida. Okay, so in this space, below the space, there are cortical granules. Once the sperm head penetrates the zona pellucida and touches this area, what happens? This cortical granules breaks and they release out and they form an covering. This covering is called as fertilization membrane. This covering is called as fertilization membrane. Okay. See, very simple. Previously, before fertilization, before the sperm head touches the zona pellucida, so far we call this as vitelline membrane. Now, once the sperm head touches the zona pellucida, see, you could see here round particles. These are called cortical granules. They have some chemical substances. They get ruptured and they get released out and they form a bridge-like structure here. So this structure is called fertilization membrane. So what is the use of the fertilization membrane? This will prevent the entry of the second sperm. So once one sperm head enters inside the egg, immediately this cortical granules breaks and forms a barrier-like covering, so that it stops the entry of the next sperm. Okay, so this is called corticular reaction. So what is corticular reaction? As soon as the sperm head touches the vitelline membrane, the corticular reaction gets activated by changing the vitelline membrane into fertilization membrane. So once the head touches the vitelline membrane, what happens? The vitelline membrane changes into fertilization membrane. How? Because of the cortical granules. They fuse with the plasma membrane of the oocyte and they form the cortical, releases the content cortical enzymes. Okay, so this cortical reactions, they harden the zona pellucida. It prevents the entry of the other sperms. That means this corticular reaction prevents the polyspermy. That means only one sperm could does the fertilization. So it prevents the entry of the another sperm. That is called corticular reaction. Okay. Now here some interesting thing happens, that is called fertilizing anti-fertilizing interaction. So what is fertilizing anti-fertilizing interaction means? How the egg knows that the sperm came and touched its outer region so that the corticular reaction occurs. How the egg recognizes it? That is because of this fertilizing anti-fertilizing reaction. See, this is like enzyme substrate reaction or lock and key mechanism. Okay. So how it occurs means the ovum secretes fertilizin. This is a compound, a chemical substance, a glycoprotein. This is made up of monosaccharides and amino acids. Okay. So for example, if this is the ovum zona pellucida layer has some protein structure. Okay, this is called fertilizin. This is called fertilizin. Okay, and similarly, the sperm, whichever sperm is coming, the outer region, this acrosomal region has another substance. This is called anti-fertilizin. It's called anti-fertilizin in the sperm. So when the sperm meets the zona pellucida layer, this exactly comes and fixes here like a lock and key. So once the fertilizin meets the anti-fertilizin like a lock and key mechanism, this molecule gets activated and now the egg understands that the sperm is entering and it gets prepared for the next successful process. Okay. So that's why once the one sperm enters the zona pellucida, touches the zona pellucida, it alters its structure. That fertilization membrane develops. That's why the second sperm could not able to enter. So particularly what happens, this fertilizin shape gets detached so that the next sperm could not enter inside. Okay, the lock and key mechanism is exactly what happens here. And here the important thing is here, this fertilizin anti-fertilizin reaction interaction is species specific. So what is species specific? For example, female human ovum cannot be penetrated by a monkey sperm of a monkey, or a monkey ovum cannot be penetrated by a human sperm. Why? Because this fertilizin, whatever present in the ovum of a human being, it will matches with the anti-fertilization of the um, human sperm only. So those lock and key mechanism only works. It will not work with the another species fertilizing or anti-fertilizing. Okay, so that's why this reaction is highly specific. Okay, this interaction is a species specific. This we called as compatibility reaction. Now the next step is the fusion of the egg and the sperm together. Okay, now what happens? The sperm egg enters inside. So when the sperm is entering, along with its head, it brings the proximal centriole. Okay, we know that proximal centriole is present in the neck region of the sperm. It also enters inside. So what is the function of this proximal centriole? We know that the egg whichever released during the ovulation is the secondary oocyte, where it was arrested at the metaphase stage 2. Why it is arrested? Because the egg does not have centriole to execute the meiosis 2 stage. Okay, now the sperm entered and it is now bringing the centriole. So what happens now? The egg resumes its metaphase 2 stage. That means it undergo the second meiotic division. So as a result of the second meiotic division, from the secondary oocyte, after second meiotic division, one ovum or oocyte is produced, and also second polar body is produced. Okay, so now this ovum is the fertilized ovum. Clear? So the haploid nucleus of the sperm and the ovum fuse together to form the diploid zygote. The next stage will be fusion of the two nucleus, right? Okay, see, now here the sperm is bringing the nucleus and the egg is also having the nucleus. This is going to get fused. Okay, so this is called karyogamy. Karyo means nucleus. Fusion of the two nucleus is going to happen. Okay, so see here, the sperm is entering through the fertilization cone and it penetrates and fuses, and it resumes the meiotic 2 division, and then all this cleavage, everything occurs. Okay, so this is how the fusion of the egg and the sperm and also its nucleus takes place. Clear? Now at this stage only the sex of the baby is determined. Okay, so we should know how the baby sex is determined. So basically we know that a ovum has, a female has XX chromosome. Okay, so the half number of the chromosome, that means the ovum will have only the half haploid. So one X will be present in the ovum. So similarly, suppose if the coming sperm is bringing a Y chromosome. Okay, Y chromosome here is also a haploid. Then when it fuses together, the zygote will be XY. Okay, that means it will be a male baby. Okay, and similarly a ovum is X. If suppose the incoming sperm is bringing X chromosome, which is N haploid, then as a result this will be XX. The zygote will be XX. Okay, so the baby will be female baby. So that's why 50% of the baby sex is already determined by the ovum, that is X chromosome only present. Baki 50% will be determined by the incoming sperm. If the sperm is bringing Y chromosome, it will be XY, a male baby. If the sperm is bringing X chromosome, it will be a female baby. So we have to remember here that the genetic or the gender of the baby is determined by the male, that is the sperm only. Okay, fine. So let us just revise so far what we have learned in this topic. So understanding this picture itself will give a clear idea of all the steps involved in the fertilization one by one. Okay, so in the fertilization, these 8 major important steps occurs: insemination, capacitation, movement of the sperm, entry of the sperm, acrosomal reaction, activation of the egg, cortical reaction, and fusion of the egg and the sperm together. So finally karyogamy, nucleus also get fused, and the zygote will be produced. Okay, until zygote formation is called the fertilization. Okay, so see first what happens after the sexual intercourse. The sperms are ready for the race. Okay, so whichever sperm comes and first reaches the egg, it penetrates the first layer, that is the corona radiata. Okay, that is means by the enzyme hyaluronidase, because this corona radiata cells are attached together by hyaluronic acid. So the sperm acrosome produces hyaluronidase, which breaks the cells and penetrates the first covering. The second covering is the zona pellucida. So the acrosome produces zona pellucidin or zona lysine enzyme, which breaks this second covering. Okay, and third one, the acrosome enters inside. Okay, and as a result of that, corticular granules, they breaks and they form an outer covering called fertilization covering. So once the sperm head enters inside, the zona pellucida changes its structure. That means the fertilization membrane changes its structure. Okay, so that it acts as a barrier, thereby the second sperm could not enter. That is, polyspermy is prevented. And the fourth stage is fusion of the two nucleus together, karyogamy, which results in the formation of the diploid zygote. Understand? So this is the fertilization reaction. So if you like this lecture, give a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Neat Biology Expert. Thank you.